What is up, guys? Random Entertainment 6 here with another random video. Today I want to talk about my top 10 favorite YouTube channels. YouTube is really big and there are tons and tons of great channels out there, but these are some of my top 10 favorite channels that I always find myself going back to over and over again. A couple things I should say before I get into my top 10 list is that these are not necessarily in order, 10 being my least favorite to number 1 being my favorite. These are all channels that I like in certain ways. I should also mention on this list that there are a couple channels that I put together as one. They are so similar that I just put them side by side because they kind of just run hand in hand together. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. My number 10 is one I actually discovered fairly recently. It is Geek and Sundry. The way I discovered this was through one of their segments called Tabletop. Now, Tabletop is hosted by Wil Wheaton, and he invites guests onto his show to play board games. A lot of these guests are other YouTubers like Nigahiga, and I think it is Yuri Wind is another one. He also has directors, actresses, actors, lots of different types of people on the show to play board games. Now, it may not sound like something you'd really want to watch, but it's actually really interesting. He's showed a lot of board games, thing that I never even knew about. And he has all these people come together and he explains the game and he plays with them. I was surprised. I didn't really think I would like it, but I watched a fair amount of them. Number 9 is one of the ones that I had explained earlier about putting two channels together, and that is Jeremy Jans and Chris Stuckman. Now, both of these guys are movie reviewers, and they're really good ones at that. Jeremy Jans is definitely the more popular. He gets more views on his videos, but both of them are equally good. Jeremy Jans is really funny, has great insight into movies. Always go to his movies to see what he thinks about them. Chris Stuckman, he's been around for a good while, but he doesn't have near as many views, but he is just, I think, as good of a reviewer as Jeremy is, and I always go and check out his reviews as well. Number 8. Number 8 is another one that has actually two that I bunched together, which are Corridor Digital and Freddie W. Now, these guys do basically skits, but they are really well done. They're kind of like mini webisodes. They have ideas that they just take, throw them out there, and pull them off really well with special effects. I mean, these guys are really good at what they do. Corridor Digital is maybe on a little higher scale. They've broken off into webiseries, one of which is Sync, which is really good. You should definitely check that out, which I've been watching. And another, Tether, which they've only done one so far, but I'm not sure if they're going to continue. Freddie W does basically the same thing, a lot of Call of Duty type skits, just like Corridor Digital does. And they're both really good. Number 7 is Daystorm. Daystorm is a really awesome guy. He basically does challenges where people will send in a challenge for him to rap about. It could be anything from candy, video games, just a lot of random different things, and then he'll make a rap about it. He is awesome YouTuber. Number 6 is Hishy, or How It Should Have Ended. This is an animation channel that does a parody on popular movies on how the channel thinks they should have ended, and it's really funny. Some of my favorites are ones on like the Marvel movies, the DC movies, like Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, all those, and TV series as well. They're just really funny. You watch them and you would see exactly what I mean. Number 5 is Improv Everywhere. Now, this channel is one of those channels where you first discover it and you go on a YouTube marathon. I don't know if you guys ever do this or not, but you discover a channel and it's like, oh, just click on one more of the videos. Then before you know it, you've watched all of their movies. And this is how this channel was. They basically go out and do pranks on the public, but they kind of do it in a twist. There was one which is actually one of my favorites where they go to an amusement park and they have a guy dressed up as a jockey. He gets on a carousel and they have some people being the announcers and a crowd that's there to act as they're watching a race. A fake TV crew there as well, and they pretend like they're announcing a real race. And when the carousel rides, they go up and they talk to the kid who's supposedly the winner. And they do a lot of things like this that just make people really happy. I think it's awesome what they're doing. Definitely check them out. Number 4 is Swoozie06, and this is another channel where I went on one of those YouTube marathons, and actually most of mine in the top 5 I've went on a marathon with just because they're so good, at least in my opinion they are. Now Swoozie, he's a pro gamer, and he mostly just does stories and animations, and there's something about his stories that you just, once you're sitting there, before you know it, his video is done and you're like, oh, well, we'll go to the next one. He's got great insight into different things, and you definitely just have to see it to know what I'm talking about to get a feel for how his channel is. Number 3 is a channel that is really, really awesome. If you know what laying it on the stones or I am the master commander is, then you will know what this next channel is, because number 3 is Olin Rogers. This guy does stories and skits. He is probably about one of the best storytellers I've seen. He just has a way with words, and telling these stories, which are all true, he says, is just hilarious stories about tons of different things. Now his skits are really funny too. He has a certain type of humor. He said his humor was inspired by Monty Python. So if you see Monty Python and you like that type of humor, you would definitely know what you're getting into here. It's just odd, random, completely off the wall humor, and it is awesome. Number 2 is Blimey Cow. I discovered them back when they made their 7 Common Lies about homeschoolers. Now, after that video, they really blew up, and they've been doing really well since. There are actually 2 brothers who are homeschooled, now in college, and a group of their friends who put on a video. It's usually Jordan that does a video, and he'll talk about whatever it is they come up with for the week. It's stuff on like dating, things they don't like about Facebook. They do top 10s, just a lot of things like that. But it's really good. Now, for my number 1 is a guy that's really popular. This channel is so funny, and I always go back and rewatch it, and they just never get old. I love it. And this guy is Julian Smith. He does an awesome job at his videos. He basically does skits, and well, that's pretty much about it. But man, does he do them well. His humor is so good, the quality of videos is great. His Malk video, M-A-L-K, that is a great example of his channel. You watch it, and I pretty much guarantee you that you will go on a YouTube marathon, because his stuff is just so good. You'll be laughing all the way through. Great channel. Okay, so that was my top 10 favorite YouTube channels. So, what do you guys think? Are some of your favorite YouTube channels in my top 10? Are there some other ones that you guys really like that you would have in your top 10? Let me know in the comments below what other YouTube channels you like. If you guys would like to check out all these YouTube channels that I've been talking about, I will put links to all of them in the description below. Definitely go and check them out and see what you think of them. As always, thanks for watching, and keep it random.